Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Now that we've all had a few days to recover from episode 4, and that ending in particular, I wanted to talk about that scene and what we can expect in episode 5. There have been lots of theories thrown out there, so I'm going to focus on a couple that I believe are the most likely, plus a few other things. Without further delay, let's get into the video. There have been some questions raised over Anakin's appearance. First off, yes, that was his lightsaber from episode 3, not Vader's or whatever else has been thrown out there. If you need further proof, you can see the orange button clearly. Also, Vader's hangs from the top and Anakin's from the bottom, as we can see. The second comment I've seen going around a bit is that he doesn't have a scar. It is there, it's just a bit faint. People have questioned whether or not Force Ghosts can have their lightsabers on them. In the new canon novel that released a little over a year ago, Shadow of the Sith, there is a part where Anakin comes to save Luke on Exegol and ignites his blade, so there are a few things changing in the Disney era. He's also not glowing, however my theory there is that the light blue see-through appearance only occurs when they walk amongst the living. Perhaps when they die, they just exist in the world between worlds. The fact that his glove is on his hand definitely throws me off at being him as a Force Ghost, but perhaps Dave has an explanation ready for us. I think I remember something about Filoni in an interview once saying that what you see through the world between worlds, more so through the portals, but maybe on the pathways as well, sort of relates to your personal experiences. So you can't, that sort of stops the factor of time travel and things like that. You can only go into scenes that relate to you, kind of thing, and your memory of them. And obviously the last time Ahsoka saw Anakin was when he went to save the Chancellor just before that, so maybe she's seen him as she last remembered him. Okay, now that's out of the way, a very popular theory at the moment is that it is not Anakin, but in fact the son from the Mortis arc in the Clone Wars, playing tricks on Ahsoka. If you need a catch up, Ahsoka, Anakin and Obi-Wan were transported to the planet Mortis, or more so, dragged in by the Father. A planet where the force of the entire universe flowed. There they encountered the father, daughter, and son. The daughter represented the light side, the son the dark side, and the father was the balance. The father wanted to test Anakin to see if he really was the chosen one and could take his place on Mortis. The storyline in that arc that really relates here is when Ahsoka dies at the hands of the son. The son goes to kill the father shortly after, however the daughter jumps in the way, sacrificing herself and transfers the last of her life force to bring Ahsoka back. This is also why we see a convor named Morai following Ahsoka around, as it used to accompany the daughter previously. There is some evidence to support this theory. In Rebels, a painting of the Mortis Gods at the Jedi Temple in Lothal was the access point to the world between worlds, so there is definitely a link there. At, I believe, the timestamp between 8 minutes 45 and 9 minutes in episode 1, where Ahsoka is almost listening to the pillars when she is retrieving the map, you can hear the faintest, "Is he the chosen one?" Shout out Star Wars Theory in his chat for that one. At first it was thought to be Maul's line from his death in Rebels, however it's far more likely that it was the son when he said it in the Clone Wars, and obviously Sam Witwer voiced both of those characters. This brings me to my next point, as Sam Witwer has said he was involved in Ahsoka, but he just can't say anything about it, which is no big shock. Could we finally see Sam's face in a live action role as the son? If this were to come true, I'm really unsure where we go from here, as in, what does the son want? He's obviously dead now, however he did feel really guilty and heartbroken over his sister's death, and now that her life force resides within Ahsoka, maybe there's a link there. While we see the brother on Mortis, he is trying to use Anakin to escape his world and come to the galaxy we know to dominate it. Perhaps he is trapped in the world between worlds and is planning on using Ahsoka to assist him. What I really want to see happen is this almost spiritual experience of Anakin and Ahsoka walking through the world between worlds. Ahsoka still holds herself responsible and feels guilty at Anakin's fall to the dark side, thinking if she hadn't left him, things would have turned out differently. Her master is going to impart further lessons upon his apprentice, showing her various scenarios where she has stayed by his side, yet the outcome is the same. His fall to the dark side was his destiny, ultimately bringing balance to the Force, fulfilling the prophecy, and there was nothing Ahsoka could have done differently to change it. We're meant to be seeing an alternate Mustafar scene where Ahsoka goes there either instead of Obi-Wan or alongside him. I've also seen rumours of Clone Wars flashbacks on Ryloth in particular, as well as another alternate scene of Ahsoka going to Thrawn instead of Ezra and killing him. As for her destiny, any choice she could have made would have led her to this moment, in the world between worlds with Anakin, almost like Maul said to her on Mandalore.
Every choice you have made has led you to this moment.
As for Ahsoka herself, I think there are 3 possibilities as to how she has found herself in the world between worlds this time. 1, she is actually dead and will be reincarnated as Ahsoka the White. 2, Anakin has actually pulled her out from her death like Ezra did. Or 3, she has taken the place of the daughter. Maybe Anakin has of the father, so I wonder who the son could be. No matter what her state is, I think we're going to see her emerge back into the living world, healed and now a balanced version of herself. Going back and watching the Mortis arc in the Clone Wars, they always had little messages or phrases at the beginning. The one found at the start of the first episode we see Mortis reads, "Balance is found in the one who faces his guilt." Maybe that's years long foreshadowing from Filoni, and Ahsoka's going to experience this in the World Between Worlds. The one thing bugging me is the Vader theme that played at the end. Not in a bad way at all, more so trying to decipher what it means. I think there are two possible interpretations. One being not relating so much to Vader, just more so that something sinister is at play, possibly leaning towards the sun deceiving Ahsoka. The other option is that it is taken literally, and Vader, in machine or flesh form, will appear, such as an Order 66 scene or the alternate Mustafar scene. I'm just in the editing process for this video after I've recorded the audio, and there are some leaks circulating saying that the alternate Mustafar scene has been left out of the final cut. Now, it's not confirmed, but it is a strong rumour, so I'm just noting this to provide as much up-to-date information as possible. Thank you so much for watching, guys. So much to talk about, and I tried to be as concise and clear as possible, but found myself wanting to run non-stop and go off on tangents. The combination of Filoni directing, the episode appearing in theatres in the US, and what we are theorising, this episode will be an emotional rollercoaster in the best way possible. The possibilities are endless, and the potential is there for it to be the best Star Wars content in years. In between videos, make sure to stay connected with me on Twitter, Instagram, and I've recently started posting on TikTok again. Until next time, may the Force be with you, always.